The Wellness Show, episode number 355.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. We are now live on Facebook. This is The Wellness Show on health, wealth, and enlightenment. And this is your host, Tyhson Bannigan. Welcome to the show. We're here for you with the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing, help you get out of your own way, take back your personal power, and become a sovereign human being. So it's time for you to phone in and ask us tough questions so we can help you get from where you are to where you want to go in the shortest amount of time. My co-host is the lovely Laura Cool. Welcome, Laura.
Good morning.
And the toll-free number is 1-866-369-7464. Feel free to phone in. You can also join us on Zoom. The link is in show notes or any show that you've watched before or anywhere we're broadcasting now. Look at the description of the show. The Zoom link is there as well. If you want to phone in internationally, use the WhatsApp, which is my cell phone number 1-250-803-2480. We'll just make sure that we have the cell phone on, and the cell phone is now on, and we're ready to take your call. So I woke up this morning really thinking about what a unique opportunity we have. It's like I saw sort of a comic of the picture of Michelangelo of God putting his finger down, pointing to Adam, that famous painting, right? Finger to finger. Yeah. And I love the one where God's pointing his finger down to planet Earth and about to push the reset button. And that's really where we are right now, pushing the reset button, both personally and planetary wise. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk a bit about what does all that mean for both of us and individually and collectively. So there was a nice post, see if I can find it here, this morning. So it said, it's time to awaken and become a sovereign human, clear what no longer serves you, and then manifest into reality what does serve you. And this is for Tyhson Awakening Flu and the Truth Virus. The next wave of virus is rolling towards us. This time, mouth masks are of no use at all. The causative agent of a previously rare disease now appears to have been mutated. Starting from several countries, including Germany, it spreads worldwide and faster than Ebola. The awakening flu A1H8, as the system-threatening virus is called by leading experts of WHO, suddenly leads to a clear mind in the here and now. First, it starts harmlessly with exclusive consumption of organic food and the intake of turmeric to clean the pineal gland. There is unusually a pronounced aversion to mass media. Finally, the symptoms pass into increased consciousness of unity, a complete connection to your own soul, and associated previously unknown freedom from fear. Eventually, the illness ends in unconditional love and gratitude to the Creator and creation. All proven means such as chemtrails, World Cup, mass vaccinations, stock market crashes, and threats of global war scenarios, etc., seem to be completely ineffective. The dark power elite is completely at a loss. For this virus, a new academic warning level of the WHO has been proclaimed because it can fundamentally improve life on this planet. Even the WHO text message warning sent to over 7 billion people worldwide for the first time says, stay in your matrix. You are safe there, as fizzled out ineffectively. The experts call it the truth virus and is highly contagious. Avoid contact with people who think independently and act responsibly. It is suspected that the virus could also be spread through thought transfer. According to the latest studies, the exact transmission path has now been uncovered. The course of the disease usually begins with reading this decrypted text. The incubation period is a few milliseconds, welcome to freedom. We're now putting more and more. We're now getting more and more. So there you are. So I love that. That was really, the awakening flu. So let this be our awakening flu.
I had a client ask me why we shouldn't wear masks. And I was kind of dumbfounded for a minute because I didn't really understand what he was asking me. And then I realized that, I know why I don't believe in wearing masks, only because for myself, I feel like I'm vibrating at a level that I'm not vibrating at the same level as the virus. Therefore, I don't have anything to be afraid of. But if I was in fear, then I'd be vibrating at that same level and definitely would want to wear a mask or protective clothing or whatever to try and stay away from it. And he kind of understood then what it was that I was saying. And I believe that that's what it is that we're telling or trying to explain to people, is that when you're a sovereign human being and you feel that you're in your own power, then your vibration increases. And how do you increase your vibration, Tyhson? Like, what?
Well, first you wake up. So I'm going to talk about what does it mean to be a sovereign human being in the United States of America? Okay.
Yeah.
So it means to wake up and take back your personal power and also your control of your government. Okay. So I'm going to read you a little history for the United States of America. The history goes like this. The original American government as of 1781 consisted of a union, a federation, and a confederation of different kinds of states and states of states operating in different jurisdictions. And there's a hard and fast demarcation between soil, land, and sea and air. This is really important. There's a hard and fast demarcation between soil and land, or soil/land, and sea/air. The soil land jurisdictions are populated by people, that is lawful people, and the sea air jurisdictions are inhabited by persons, that is the legal person. And you're saying, what is he talking about?
What does that mean? Yeah.
What is he talking about? This is how you've been enslaved in the United States of America. This is so important. Don't believe me, do your own research. I want you to go Google the whole concept of sea air jurisdiction versus soil land jurisdiction, the difference between a lawful person and a legal person. Your health, welfare, and the future of America depends on it, okay? This is not conspiracy theories. This is actual legal law of the land. We talk about the law of one, right? The law of one is that, do no harm. When one is harmed, all are harmed. And we ask for the most benevolent outcome of all concerned. This is the law of the land versus the law of the sea and how you've been legally enslaved, okay? Goes on to say, and never the twain shall meet, like the land is separated from the sea. The only interface is located in international jurisdiction where lawful persons populate the land and legal persons inhabit the sea. And they may be converted either unlawfully or lawfully one into the other, okay? So the law of the sea and the law of the land are two bodies of law, okay?
Okay.
Okay, what we are going by reclaiming our birthright political status in American state nationals and American state citizens, and by expatriating from our presumed territorial and municipal citizenship, is to lawfully convert legal persons back into lawful person. Okay, so when you are born, you are issued a birth certificate by the United States Incorporation. United States Incorporation. It's a legal incorporation. It is incorporated as a company. And therefore, you are now a lawful legal person because your name is spelt out in capital letters. Look at your birth certificate, it's all in capital letters.
Yeah.
That means that you are bound to the sea air jurisdictions, which means that they have a legal right to borrow money against your birthright. Okay, like every person has a potential value equal to the amount of money that that's been calculated that you will earn in your lifetime. That is used by the United States corporation to borrow money against, because it has to be capital of some kind, either labor or buildings. It has to be some material wealth, right, in order to borrow money against. So what this is all about is reversing that process, that the states that they are titled to the connection to the land must be taken back. Okay. So what this means is that you are bound by government. Let me just see if I can get here, give you more information that helps. So what is the state of the union? It's the soil jurisdiction union of a republic states being referenced, which holds the underlying land jurisdiction. States as possessions. You could just as well read it as states belong to the union in the sense of ownership, while the state itself is a member of the United States of America, an unincorporated federation of states. Okay? That's where the decisions are made, as an unincorporated federation of states. In the same way, the states of states that were members of the original Confederation of States belong to the states in the sense of ownership. Georgia owns the state of Georgia, which operates under the Georgia Sovereign Letters Patent. The state of Georgia, which has been mothballed since 1868, along with the other actual federal states of states, is an American state corporation held under Sovereign Letters Patent. So, see if I can find actually when. Okay, I'm trying to find exactly what year this false action took place in which United States of America became incorporated as a separate legal corporation, right? And then usurped its citizens and used them to be able to do commodity trading. And so that's how the Federal Reserve, it says the Federal Reserve of the United States of America. No, the Federal Reserve is not owned by the United States government. It's another legal corporation, right? That then loans money to the government of the United States, which is a legal corporation in which you have to pay interest. The actual Constitution of the United States of America allows the United States legally to create its own money, in which if it did, it would have to pay no interest on the creation of its own money. Its own money would be backed by the power of its citizens, which is the birthrights of their citizens and their ability to earn money. But all that as a corporation has been given away to the Federal Reserve Bank as a way of financing loans. Is this making any sense to you at all?
To me, yeah. I've known about this since the early 90s.
Right. So it's really important to begin to do this understanding, because this is where, if we're going to talk about sovereign human beings, let's talk about a sovereign United States. Let's talk about sovereign countries which are free from the Federal Reserve, which is a construct in which to co-opt you and take your money and use it for nefarious purposes. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because there's a lot to research and it can get pretty heady. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and start, claiming that you are, that you're a legal person and therefore you don't need to abide by the laws. I have friends that have done that, have ended up in jail, have been attacked by the IRS or Revenue Canada, that have got themselves into all sorts of problems. Not because what they were doing is improper. It's just that the forces on the planet now are using illegal means in which to do to do arrests and put them through a political system. So do your research and you'll find that there's different flags that show up behind the president whenever he's actually speaking with regard to the sea air jurisdiction, or whether he's talking from the regard of the United States Incorporation or the United States Federation, which is not incorporated. Anyway, enough of a history lesson. We'll put it in the show notes so that you can do your own research. So wake up, America, please. Do your homework. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are. That's what I wanted to open up with. And I like the fact that we have a new we have a new pandemic that is raising our consciousness so that all of the lies that we hear are being able to be seen through. We can see the truth when we become sovereign. All right, is there any questions out there?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. It's quiet Monday.
Well, I guess
Mondays are
we don't
quiet.
need to. I guess we don't need to do this show anymore. Then we're all done.
Maybe,
Maybe.
yeah. Yeah. Now one of my friends posted on Facebook that now the killer bee is coming. So now that we're not afraid of COVID anymore, now they're going to start throwing us killer bees that can take us out and honeybees, the honeybee population.
Well, that's already been ongoing for quite a while. So
it's just another fear tactic.
Well, I'm actually a certified master beekeeper.
Oh yeah.
So one of the many things that I've done. So there's no doubt that the African bee is a much more aggressive bee
Mm-hmm.
than the Mediterranean bee, which has been hybridized, and your dog is trying to
outside the door,
guard the door or rip open the door or alien attacks.
If anyone tries to get out,
there's disembodied entities beside the door, outside the door.
Come here, Boo. So, good morning to Debbie and Michele and Wendy, and Oz is watching. Anyone have any questions from this weekend? Lots was going on this weekend.
So just to let people know, what's coming up on the Friday class is self-massage, and there'll be a 2-hour self-massage class held, and it's really exciting because if you sign up you'll get 5 videos that you'll be able to do massage at home, which is really important to de-stress your body, especially if you're going through COVID-19, you have a lot of stress and you have a lot of pain locked in your body. Then self-massage and how to do it. These are extremely good videos. And so I really highly recommend you sign up for the class. It'll be Friday at 10 to noon Pacific time, same time, and it will be going through the self-massage technique. I think you end up with about 5 different videos that you'll be able to download and use at home. So getting out of stress is really important. And the other part of this is that, as the consciousness rises on the planet, all that trauma that's been locked into your body and into the fibers of your muscles and your neural network has to be released. And being able to massage it through is really important. For myself, I've been going through a lot of deep clearing, and having Darlene Turner, who's going to be leading class here to do massage for me, has been really, really helpful. So I had another massage on Monday, and then on Saturday, and then processing all that took almost a day to deal with all the emotions that came up, and they're all locked in the muscles of your body. So it's important that you do this, and it's part of your self-care, and it's a part of becoming a sovereign human being. All of the trauma has to be released if you want to become, fully embodied, fully enlightened. So I highly recommend that you sign up for the course. It'll be well worth your time.
So who's doing the massage video?
Darlene Turner.
Darlene.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And then you want to talk about Friday's class? Because I thought that was pretty interesting with parasites.
Yeah, not very many people attended it, but I thought it was very, very important. If 80% of the population has parasites in the world, it seems like learning how to deal with parasites is really important. And if most of our cats and dog friends and our other animal friends have parasites, well, would we want to take care of them as well? Because these little critters are literally the root of many diseases and disorders, most of which, if you're only looking for symptoms like a doctor is, if you're diagnosing according to symptoms, then you'll say, well, this person has A, B, C, D, or E, and treat those symptoms, but not deal with the underlying cause, which is the parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be very powerful if you're going to learn to be a dowser or an energy healer, or you want to do it for yourself or your loved ones or your family, or even for your clients. This is well worth learning about how to douse for parasites and how to clear them. And there's 2 ways you can clear them, or I'm sure there's many ways you can clear them, but what we were teaching is doing an energetic clearing, which is less complicated than doing herbal remedies. Not that I'm against herbal remedies, but in actual fact, if you combine both of them, it would probably be a good way to approach it. So yeah, that's still available. It's $44, and all the videos are done for it. And also the 8 pages of charts are available. I have to put that all together to send out to everybody who joined us. And don't forget, all of the classes, there was 6 hours of classes last month, all of those and all the clearing videos that we did in the wellness show are all available for you for last month for $33. It's a subscription. So for $33, if you can't afford to join us at $44 every week, you can pay $33 and get everything after the fact. And that's a lot of videos to watch. That's like averaging 2 hours per week. For Friday, that's like somewhere in between 6 to 8 hours of videos to watch. So the downside of that is you don't get to ask questions when it's live, and you don't get that instruction, but you can certainly learn a lot after the fact by watching the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
And
$33 a month.
Wendy asked, since I'm now clear of parasites as of Friday, do I now stop taking my herbal remedies?
I would keep taking your herbal remedies. You've already paid for them, so do them until, it's like the doctor says, if you've got pills, right? You take your pills until you're done with them. So I would encourage you to do it all the way through. Finish the regime.
Sure. And then Oz says, I felt a lot of collective emotions this weekend. Got to shake it off.
Yeah, I went through a lot of emotions this weekend on various levels. I also was responsible for doing a 2-hour meditation on Sunday, and did a lot about doing what's called the Divine Mother technique, which is that basically it's also in the Tao that there's nothing outside of yourself. So all the catastrophes and COVID-19 and everything that's going around you is all fundamentally inside of yourself. So there's nothing outside that you can say, oh, that's terrible out there. It's what's terrible inside yourself that you haven't dealt with. So we did a Divine Mother technique, which is taking the energies that we want to help heal the planet or help humanity. Actually, the whole thing was to focus on helping humanity move through fear, overwhelming fear, right? Into grace. And so that's what the focus was, but it was to do it inwardly. So where are you feeling all this in your body? Because for me, this weekend was really a massive transformation in the body, in my own inner body, and learning just how disembodied most of us are. Even if I teach this, to learn that there's multiple levels of being fully embodied. That we don't want to be fully embodied, because when we have to deal with the pain that we didn't deal with in our lifetime.
Right.
So who wants to go there? No, I want to be blissed out bunny. I want to meditate and procrastinate and, deal with unicorns and lollipops, and this is a wonderful world. And I'm already enlightened, which is great. And there's nothing wrong with that, except at some time, you've got to deal with underlying issues before they come a disease or disorder out of the blue. And you think, oh, well, but I did all this. I'm really, really an enlightened human being.
Right.
Why am I got this disease or disorder? It's because you weren't listening to your body, right? You were elevating yourself consciously, but you weren't literally disembodied from your body. So to be in your body means you need to be one with it. You need to harmonize it. You need to enlighten it, which means you need to deal with all the pain and suffering that you put in your body. Like when I went to the dentist in those days, you know, your whole mouth went like this as they drilled. And I used to grip the dentist's chair, and I used to lock all that energy in the bottom of my spine because I don't need to go through the horror stories with the dentist and how much pain it was when he didn't do it right. So I was scared to death of dentists. I never wanted to go there. So I just locked that energy down. That energy has to come out of my body. That's what I was working on this weekend.
Gotcha.
Welcome to the Wellness Show. And who are we talking to?
Oh, good morning, Tyhson. This is Linda calling, and good morning to Laura as well. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you were asking about, you know, sort of what came up for us this weekend, and I've been, as you well know, been working on my daughter, and in a snapshot out of 10 being, you know, really good health, I'm able to get her into the low to mid 8 range, but then she always falls back to mid to high 7. And I've cleared everything I can think of. I have installed everything I can think of, including, you know, deeper embodiment and, you know, integrating and training to her my blueprint. And I mean, the list is endless. So the only thing that the hit that I come up with is that her comfort zone, because of the longevity of her health challenges, her comfort zone is more in the 7, and it feels strange to her to be healthier, or she feels, you know, I don't really know what's going on with this one.
Right. Well, that's a great question. And I think that we all have a set point in all sorts of different things in our lives. They talk about a set point in our ability to have abundance in our life, and that set point is from our belief systems and our parental and you know, and our ancestral. We have to pick up these beliefs that has a set point, and if we were even to become multimillionaires by, you know, winning the lottery, we'd come back to the set point. So that could be a set point in her health and wellness, like you said. So what if you did something unique, like you did the clearing, and then you said, after you did your whole list, and I include all those things that I can't even imagine what they could be.
Oh, okay, like for both the clearing and the installation. So
exactly.
So things that I haven't gotten a download about, or that I haven't come up with myself.
Yeah, or you could put it this way: if I knew anything else that to be cleared, I would include that now. That would be great.
Right.
Because my coach says, when she takes me up and looking at things from a higher view, she says, go to the top of the sky and look down. And she says, of course, there's no top to the sky, but with that overview of looking at everything that's unfolding, is there any state of consciousness higher that you would like to experience? Then ask for that. So in other words, go where no person has ever gone before. Allow yourself to go into the totally unknown and be guided to do that by making those statements. Let me clear those things that I don't even know that needed to be cleared. Or I don't know, what was my statement, Laura? Did you catch that? I haven't stated it much clearer than that.
No, I totally get what you're saying. In fact, I'm kind of chuckling because this morning I was discussing this with my husband, and I said, I was bouncing it off him to see if he thought I was on the right track. And I said, you know, it's well known that people who have lived kind of, you know, on the edge, and they win the lottery and they become multimillionaires, it doesn't hold.
Right.
They lose the money for some reason.
So then why don't you ask the set point they moved, right? And, you know, if you don't know how to do that, put it into the Court of Atonement.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Just remove all set points. I mean, that would be a great clearing statement, you know. Let's do that. So I, Tyhson Bannigan, in my I am presence, with the assistance of the Divine Mother and Divine Father and the source of all that is, remove all set points from any belief systems, known or unknown, that anybody on the call or listening to this call has. And I clear them throughout all time, space, and dimensions, known or unknown, the multidimensional levels of reality throughout the matriarchal and patriarchal soul families, star families, and family of origin. And it cleared all back to origin. And I declare it so in my holy name, so be it, it is done. So no more set points. So then we would install, I'm a sovereign human being. I have no set points that limit my understanding or my belief systems. And in fact, I have no belief system, because no belief systems are necessary, because I'm one with source, receive clear guidance. I'm always in the right place at the right time. And therefore, I no longer need any set points or any beliefs with regard to anything.
Yeah, that's fabulous. That's really, that's really great. And the thing is that really, I don't challenge her about this. It confounds me is that I can tell when I doubt that she's, physically anyway, she's better. But when I talk to her, she goes, "Oh, I didn't feel very well today." And I'm going, "What?"
Well, that's her normal. Like you said, it's her normal. And so here's the other technique that I don't know if you heard me say this before, but this is from our shaman in Russia in the taiga, in the forest area, working with a psychiatric, the head of a psychiatric ward in northern Russia. And the shaman said, "Don't worry what you're going to say to your patients. Just know that they're going to come into your office unannounced, and you're going to say what needs to be said to release them permanently." She just said, just know that that's going to happen. And that's what happened. And they were able to shut the ward down because everybody became unlocked in the way they needed to come unlocked. So what if you set that up with your daughter? That something at some point you'll say something to her daughter, you won't have any idea what it is, but will completely erase that set point and her belief system that's locked her into this sort of morass of not being able to fully heal.
Right. Yeah. It's well, and like I said, the conclusion that I came to, not that it's the conclusion, but a better word would be awareness, is that her comfort zone is to, in fact, she said maybe a year or so ago, she goes, I know how to be sick.
Yeah, I mean, she's learned this through lifetimes, right? Through lifetimes. Look, most people, when you talk to them, particularly the elderly, when you ask them how they're doing, they're going to give you the whole list of all their diseases. It's like, when you were in the Girl Guides and Boy Scouts, you got hero badges, right? Well, that's the hero badges, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was teaching school, and this is old school private boys school, and they used to use, swat them across the bum, which is illegal to do now. But the boys used to go around with a recipe card in their back pocket, bragging about how many times they got swatted on their backside. I mean, it was counterproductive, right? Those were hero badges. Those were hero badges. God. So we all want hero badges. We all want to be able to, my suffering is greater than yours. I don't know how many clients that Laura and I have who say you just don't understand. You're saying, don't tell me your story, but you don't understand. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, we do understand. We've been there. We understand that it's painful and it's horrific. But people get so stuck in their story. Their story has more power and gives them more juice in the negative than having to go through the pain of discovering what it is they need to release and get out.
And what about the mother's story too, about not being able to actually help her daughter? There's always something, and I know it's right because I'm getting tingles.
Yeah, so it's hard to hear, Laura, but what about?
Yeah, I can't hear her at all. It's all mumbled.
Well, I'll just put the short form. What if you're being the enabler?
Me being an enabler?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So why not just clear that? Right. I no longer will be an enabler for my daughter to support her story, and I asked for some other non-intrusive role to play with my daughter where we meet as equals, or something like that, because you're bouncing off of each other.
And a different healer come in, not the mom.
Oh, well, yeah, believe me, we have had healers and we have had healers. I mean, we've done the entire gamut. And she'll get better.
No, I think the real thing for you is that this is such a unique opportunity to come to a new relationship with your daughter. You're being asked to up level in a way that you haven't even considered. And what if it was something you didn't need to figure out? What if it just took you right off the hook and you just put it up into the Court of Atonement and say, please show me or demonstrate to me, so it's certainly obvious, what this new relationship is with my daughter. And that frees both of you from the cycle of spinning around the unknown in the center.
Right. Yeah. Those are good ideas, and those are good things to consider, and certainly good things to try. I guess I'm just saying is that everything under the sun has been tried, and
so no more trying. This is non-trying.
Right. No, I don't mean me. I mean,
but I mean you too. No more healers. No more trying. Just give it all away. Give it to source consciousness and to the Court of Atonement. Throw up your hands and say, do with it what you will. Thy will be done. Period.
Done. Yeah, just be done. Let go.
As a human, I let go. I can't figure this out. It's up to you upstairs. Solve this.
Yeah, let go.
Let go. Let go and let God. I mean, this is a tough one because we feel we got to figure this out. That somehow mentally, spiritually, intellectually, it's our job to solve this. What if it isn't your job? What if your job is to let go?
Yeah. Well, those are all things to, like I said, to take some action on for sure.
Or non-action, no action.
No action, right?
No action.
No, I'm talking about for myself.
Yeah.
Going up to the Court of Atonement and saying, I'm done with this.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. So, I think you'll find it quite liberating, and please come back and tell us we're full of hooey or that it actually worked. I'm curious, right?
Yeah, well, I will.
Be totally honest with you. That silly idea that you had didn't work, or wow, that did work, right? It's always good to have feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for having the courage to phone in for us to tell you that to do absolutely nothing. And stop it already.
That's a first on this show. Don't do anything. You're fine.
Just don't do it. Like, stop it already.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of love to you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye for now. Okay. The line's now open. There was somebody who was trying to phone in the midst of that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Eduardo said,
you're breaking up.
Still wearing coloring, and then you neat the gums. Gums are fine. Can I remineralize them? Thanks.
Okay, I couldn't hear any of that. You're breaking up.
Oh, if you go into the chat, is questions there.
All right. I'll go into the chat. Hi, Tyhson. Can you do a healing on my teeth? My teeth show wear and coloring and thin near the gums. Gums are fine. Can I remineralize them? Thanks. Yeah, you can do anything you want with your teeth. You can actually even grow new teeth. I know that sounds crazy, and dentists will say that I'm nuts, but yes, you can. Welcome to the Wellness Show. And who are we talking with?
Hey, it's Debbie. How are you?
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Deb.
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm good. I was the one trying to call, but I couldn't get it's very windy here today, so I couldn't get a clear line out. So.
All right.
Anyway, hi, Laura.
Hi.
Anyway, I have a question for the both of you.
All right.
Okay, so I'm almost 63, and at 52, I'm through menopause. I have no symptoms except, we've talked about my dyslexia. That actually happened after the menopause issue, and I have about 25 pounds I like to get rid of that are a little bit stuck.
on brain fog. So I'm pretty much a vegan for about 40 years. I'm also a master herbalist, so I use holistic remedies. As you know, I have a ranch and horses, so I'm pretty active because I'm my own ranch hand. But I just can't seem to get rid of those extra pounds I want to get rid of. I don't use the word lose and drop weight and things like that because when you lose something, you find it. So I was wondering maybe you guys have some insight on that.
Yeah, what are you holding on to? What are you holding on to?
Well, back then when I went through it, I was in a job. I left my job because I'm a holistic health practitioner, but I was working for a company I could stand. And that's when the weight started creeping up back then, basically. So I've gotten rid of maybe 20 pounds, and I can do like another 20. So maybe I'm just still holding on to that.
How old is she?
It actually has to do with protection.
I'll be 63 in August.
So it has to do with protection. I mean, all weight has to do with protecting yourself. And as healers and energy workers, we tend to believe that somehow by having more pounds that we're safer, or that we got more weight, or we're more grounded, or whatever that belief system is. So for us, it's important. And I was working on this over this weekend, trying to negotiate with Source, and I realized that, hey, I teach other people not to run energy through my body, but that actual fact, I am still running energy through my body in my subconscious that I'm not aware of, doing the healing of everything. So of the horses for you, your connection to the land, or what's happening in COVID-19, all of this is still passing through you. So if you could come up with a clearing statement that helps you do the transformation of the energies, but not in your body. So it's sort of delicate because as an empath, you feel everything in your body, but it doesn't mean that you need to process it through your body. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
In the letting go, what we're taught in the letting go by David Hawkins is that, we're supposed to feel the emotion, understand emotion, take from it what we can, and leave the rest. But leaving the rest means letting it go, totally letting it go, not hanging on to it or figuring it out or whatever. So what if you came up with a statement like this? So I, Tyhson Banning, on behalf of Deby and everybody on this call or listening to this call now and in the future, clear any thought forms, value statements, that hold that on the belief that I need to process emotions, mine, others, and the planets through my body, that I will learn from whatever emotions come my way. I'll take what I need and leave the rest to be grounded with ease and grace out of my body, so that I'm a free, clear channel to receive guidance. And so that would be one way of talking about, the healing energies of your body, that you see what needs to be healed. You do it in your mind's eye by actually healing it, but it doesn't pass through your body. So in other words, your body becomes an early warning system that says, oh, I feel that that's just terrible what's happening to the animals. So I'm going to clear that. But the clearing does not happen through your emotional body. Okay, and then I declare it, so be it, it is done. So the installation would go something like this. I, Tyhson Banning, in my holy name, or my I am presence, hereby declare, as a sovereign human being, I have compassion for all that unfolds on planet Earth and all parties involved in this symphony of light and dark. And I have no judgment other than discernment to discover the truth of what is happening, and I free it all to pass back to source. I am the witness. I am true, and I'm sovereign, and I'm independent. And I see the world, but I'm not of the world, and I choose not to judge. And I declare it so be it. It is done. Thank you. Now that last one is the hardest one, I think, on planet is to get out of judgment. Is that whatever's showing up, yes, you need to know that it's inside of you and you need to deal with it. But we have to, even forgiveness means that we're somehow got an attachment to it. So how can we not have attachment to something that's just driving us crazy, that's full of pain and suffering, especially when it comes to animals? I mean, for me, humans deserve what they get. I know this sounds terrible, but humans deserve what they get because they should be smart enough to figure out that there is such a thing as karma. But when it comes to, animals, especially going to slaughter, they don't have a choice, right? They don't understand all of this, right? And we as planetary stewards are in charge of having that higher consciousness of what it means to be a steward, to steward all of, to be a caretaker in a compassionate way for all of humanity and all of living life. So to me, that's a big one. And I know you stand in the midst of that, working with, the horses and your ranch, right? That's really who you be. So you feel all this. You feel all this injustice and the suffering. Can you get to the point where you realize that every one of those horses has made a conscious choice, as horrendous as it may seem, to show up on planet Earth to wake up human beings? And I mean, and if that were true, the suffering that they're going through, or they've gone through, is the same as any bodhisattva or any enlightened being, right? Who has given their lives and their vital energy to awaken consciousness. And for us, if we can take that in gratitude for that life that has dedicated itself to wake human being up, and love it for the path that it chose, right? And free the judgment of the human being that still doesn't get it, even though the horse went through all this pain to awaken the human, that eventually at some point, at some time when they're ready to awaken, they will awaken. And therefore, we have compassion for them because they still are asleep. And they are in some ways still innocent.
For sure, for sure. But if that makes sense, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's and then when we moved here, we moved from Laguna Beach to the desert in 2014, and the property, I wasn't aware at the time. Well, like we found electric shock collars for the horses that the man trained and bred. And it was just like, oh my gosh. So we had to clear the whole property, and then some of the neighbors said, oh yeah, there's horses buried all over the property. So we scaled the property, my daughter and I. She's like a horse whisperer. And we kind of blessed. I mean, I found only 4 horses, but I'm sure there's more that are buried. And we cleared all their energy, and then we cleared the people I bought the property from's energy. I mean, it was just like went on and on. And I was like, okay, I'm okay.
Right.
But you know, we're all human. We have those days where
absolutely.
when we have a shit day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
For the most part, I would say I'm 99%, on top of everything, and then I'll have a down day, and then I'll pick myself back up.
Right. But your body is still suffering, right? I mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean.
And then in March, I had that thing with my gallbladder.
Right.
But it came on and was gone in a couple hours. It's so weird. And last Monday, I woke up with a little bit of the problem, and I did all your clearing on it.
Yeah.
Stuff that Laura had told me. I spoke to her on the phone and cleared it right up. Well, at 20 minutes, I was like so happy about that. I was like, oh, everything's great. Yeah, I can get up and go clean and play with my dogs. And
isn't this wonderful? Because it allows us to stay out of fear, to let the deep emotions come up, and that we can clear them quickly. Whereas before they would be flatten us out, put us in the dark night of the soul. And here you're clearing them very, very quickly. And, you do the same for the land. I mean, you can say, if there's any other spirits of any other horses or any other abuse that needs to be cleared on this land in whatever ways that I don't even know of, then I ask that it be cleared now, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
And how about if you say, and I ask all the elementals of the land, all the deviant energies to carry on this work, or why not say the inner shaman who knows do all the rituals necessary to honor all the elemental forces that have been misused on this land, to reactivate them and bring them back online, to serve the greater good for the health and well-being of all the animals and humans that enter and work on this property, that this be a sanctuary, right? A pure divine light, this property, and you declare it so. And you ask your inner shaman to do all the ceremonial work with all the elementals to do that. So now you have a living light beacon of this land that has full of healing and transformation. Every person who walks on it leaves shaking their head saying, well, that was amazing. I don't know what happened to me, but I feel good. And every horse and every dog that steps on that land is healed, right?
Right. And if there's no judgment on any of this, and you look that everything had a reason for what it went through, then there's nothing to feel badly about, because there's good and bad in everything. I'm sure that those horses that are buried out there had a good life in some way too. I don't.
Or maybe they didn't. But the thing is, can you let go of this? Because if you can let go of all this, then you're letting go of that poundage that you have.
I think you're making assumptions too that those horses didn't have a good life. I don't.
Well, if they had collars on them with electric shock, that was not a good life.
No, the energy here. He bred Arabian, so I know he has some stallions here. They had like 26 horses, which they're not allowed to have that many. But when I found I also found rawhide whips that were broken. Do you know how hard it is to break a rawhide whip? I mean, you have to beat the crap out of a horse to break one. And my daughter and I, because she trains show horses, she kind of travels all over the world and does that. And not right now, because USEF has closed the horse show industry now. But she was in tears.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It was horrible. And I'm just like, for me, I just sit with the rescues so that, sometimes for months I'll sit with them.
Isn't
so they get my sense of energy and that I have peace and calmness, and then I work on them energetically. It's pretty sad. Some of the stories are just like, some of those animals we take in are just, I can't even. I mean, I get welted up with tears even thinking about the shape they're in when I get them.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, when I was looking at the wet market in China, where supposedly the COVID-19 happened, and saw what they're actually cooking live, animals and fish that are on the, all of that, or how the pigs are all. Anyway, I don't want to go there. To me, I get what you're saying. It's just like to hold that and stay out of anger against humans and just love the animals for who they are, and apologize on behalf of humanity that we are still waking up. But the thing that's interesting is I just watched the whole thing about a movie called Itzy. It was about some New York Orthodox Jews and the escape of one young woman who went straight to Berlin and to meet her mother. Anyway, the story, what's interesting about that is there's a new influx of young German Jews, young Jews going to Berlin, where the whole Holocaust began, where the whole arrest of the Jews in Germany began, and what led to Auschwitz and all the rest of this. And here they're returning to that very point at which the crimes against humanity occurred. So it's like these horses are coming back to heal where crimes against horses have been committed. It's sort of like coming back in space and time, because there is no space and time. And I'm getting shivers when I'm saying that. It's like healing everything. It's like healing the land, healing the people, healing the horses, and getting to forgiveness, right? So we can transmute this into the next dimensional reality. So blessings to you for doing this work. Just don't wear it in your body, please. Okay, release it from your body.
Can I just say another thing too?
You can say whatever you want.
That I believe that as we grow older, we put on weight and keep it have a harder time getting it off, because I've watched people die, and when you get to be end of life, that extra weight helps as you start to deteriorate. It does help. So I'm also wondering what the need for being thin is about too. Like, I think that there's a reason why God has us at a certain point, and why it's more difficult. Your body may know something more than what you do in the front of your brain. I always say the back of your brain and the front of your brain. This back here has a different agenda than this one.
There's a reptilian brain. Well, it's for you to figure out. For me, holding the weight is holding onto something. And I know it's something, I do weight training, structural readjustment on my body. Mm-hmm. I know that that's very important for me to release the trauma in my body and to realign it. That's me, and each to their own. Yeah. And I know you have a very physical life, and I know that being healthy so that you can work with your horses is really important for you. Mm-hmm. So I want you to be as healthy and vital as you can, because and you can ask the horses too. Remember, this is a two-way street. Maybe they want to help you with your weight too. Maybe they want to give you their energy, and maybe in some ways you're so busy giving them your energy that you're not taking the time to receive the herd. One with the herd. Have you had a chance to be one with the herd?
I do spend a lot of time outside with them for sure. So
is there any part? Can they run free anywhere there?
My horses are not. None of my animals are cooped up. My horses have free roam of the ranch. They actually. I have pictures of them opening the door and coming in the house.
Yeah, right. Great.
No, I don't like caged animals.
No, I understand that.
Cage, just like, but I did want to respond to Laura real quick. That I don't want to be thin. I was very thin till my 40s, and at my age, my skin would be super wrinkled if I was that thin. But the extra 20 pounds I have, or 25, is a bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I don't. I wore like a size 3 and 4 until I was 40 years old. But I prefer an 8. I'm down to 12 right now. So that's not an issue. But I will. So back when I do the replay on this and write everything down, so I can install all that, what Tyhson just said, and Laura also, and I like Liz's comment too. I am an animal communicator, which is kind of cool. So, and yes, they are a pivotal role. They're actually pivotal history. So I look at the whole energy of the horses and their bloodline when I work on them, because there are sad stories, very sad stories. So,
I don't think Tyhson
take in their stuff, but some of the stuff they tell me, when I see they're dead full or something, just like it's so overwhelming. Like I'm just bawling my head off trying to work on a horse. It's like, stop already. I can do this. But,
all right. So I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you to Google Liz Mitten Ryan. Liz Mitten Ryan. It's a Gateway Ranch. I've had the fortune of working with her. She has a group of 20-something horses. They run free, and they do healing for humans. Mm-hmm. And I've had the honor of being with her. And she's a good friend, and I love being with her horses. Because when they let me be one with the herd, I start to cry, because awesome. being accepted as a human in a herd of horses to me is extremely a privilege. They don't let anybody hang out with them, just anybody out of the blue. You have to be literally in their same frequency. So to learn how to do that and to be one with the herd is the greatest blessing I've ever had from the horse kingdom. So I love you. I love the work you're doing. Take a look at Liz's work, and maybe she'll become a great friend of yours, and maybe you have another.
How do you spell her last name, please?
Ryan, R-Y-A-N. Liz Mitten, M-I-T-T-E-N. Liz Mitten Ryan.
Oh, okay.
She's a very famous author, writer, and also painter. All right.
Lovely.
All right. Bye for now.
Thank you, Ty.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Ty.
Bye. I went to a what do you call where a rescue this weekend for animals, and they had 70 miniature ponies, miniature horses. And I sat there at the fence and gave them all kinds of energy because they were very, very sad. They didn't understand why they were there, so I kind of explained it to them. And all of a sudden, I had a bunch come up to me, and they were like nibbling at my nose, or I mean at my shoes, and like wanting my hands, and then they all like kind of walked away. And what Lewis said was horses have assumed a pivotal role to receive a lot of new energies coming to the planet because we humans supposedly can't receive loads like they can. And he said that it came from an animal communicator, and immediately I went back to those little ponies, and I thought like how, like as a whole, how sad they were, and how very calm and just sitting there, like just standing there, not moving very much. And I'm going to go back out and I'm going to talk to them and see if they can't tell me some more about that, because that's interesting that was brought up today. And I just went out to that rescue yesterday.
Oh, wonderful.
Saturday.
I mean, we have a donkey rescue here. We also have, I think, around 17 horses, 20 horses that are within our community that have been rescued from the slaughter. She just goes and buys the horses before they get slaughtered. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, to go see those horses and be with those horses, and there's mares with colts, and somebody doesn't want the horse anymore, somebody comes along and buys them, and they put fed into the meat industry, which to me is gross. But anyway, that's the way it is on this planet. So anyway, we're at the top of the hour, which was obviously having to do with animal communication, let going of our set points, of our belief systems, about how we show up. We talked a bit about being sovereign. What does it mean to be a sovereign human being? What's a sovereign nation all about? What does it mean to be a free citizen rather than a corporate citizen? So please do your homework. So anyway, thank you for showing up, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. So bye for now.
Sounds good. Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.